to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Sounds like diagramming plays over here on this one. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, man.
Drawing routes up for the X receiver.
Does Blue Wire know we're not at Blue Wire?
Yeah, they know.
Yeah. We're still Blue Wire podcast, though.
I just hit him up like 5 minutes ago.
Come on, man. Oh, my God.
Still a Blue Wire podcast, though, of course.
Yeah, we're still signing Blue Wire.
Yeah.
I guess.
They're not top ranked. They didn't drop us after one off show. But no, yeah, we're here. Mother's Day. Felt it was right to be here.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
And let me ask you this: I'm serious. Do we cut and start over, or should I just go get my notes from last night?
No, go get your notes.
No, go get your notes.
All right, I'll be back.
Good.
Yeah, so boxing's cool.
Yeah. Last night was fun.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Great Mother's Day song of all time. That's an easy answer, right? Come on, guys.
So,
Dear Mama?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey Mama by Kanye was really good, too. And Boys the Men had a...
The Boys Men, that's what I was thinking. What was that called? Come on, Zittel.
Is it Song for Mama?
This is you.
That one.
Yeah. Renee
Mama,
says,
Mama?
Yeah.
I love you, my mama?
I think it's Song for Mama.
Please, Mama?
It's a good one.
There you go. Come on, somebody help us.
He said it. Renee confirmed. Yeah, Song for Mama. Yeah, Renee said it.
So Zittel, you're the nice guy. How you felt Shawn was dressed last night? Go ahead and give your nice side, because I'm about to cook him. What'd he say?
I like the hat.
Hey, when Zittel is not approved, my whole house went against Shawn last night.
Even not going to Shawn and I we just disagree on overall fashion, the aggressiveness of fashion, kind of doing all that. I just think it's actually a matching issue. That's my concern.
Last night, I think he does pretty good. Last night was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was just very confusing.
Just like in the ring, he's
talking about you.
To take chances.
Go out to my 2020 Porsche Panamera to get my notes.
So what color is your Porsche? Because I think there's 4 different greens. If you add that, your shoes, and your shirt.
He was doing a lot.
Porsche.
Okay. Mine's just pronounced Nissan.
Mamba Green.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Nissan Ford.
Mamba Green.
We ain't got no foreigns.
I'm just wondering about so we're talking about your fashion before we get into the fights and everything.
Yeah.
Is it like a fashion thing just not to match? That was the general consensus of the house. There was some confusion on that.
Yeah, I approve of a lot of stuff you wore. Last night was pretty bad.
Well, last night was white, red, and green.
But there were 2 different greens. That's the concern.
Yeah. That
he admitted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the concern.
I had to do those shoes.
Okay.
I had to do those shoes.
That was your only option?
My only option. I had to do those shoes.
Are your feet gaining weight too?
No. No. So I didn't want to repeat with the greens that I've had. Okay. I didn't want to do that. Yeah. So I went out and I bought a new green blazer, and I wasn't able to get it. I went from Paintball to the shop, and it wasn't done yet. So I was like, dang.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I ran back here and put it together. Yeah. Yeah.
You were there.
But the funny thing is, like, if you just see the bottom, you're like, yo, them shoes is clean. But if you just see the top, you're like, yo, that fits clean. Yeah. But then when you see it together, you're like,
Your whole body's on the show. This dude said if you just see the top.
Now when I'm on Fox.
Oh yeah, that wasn't Fox. I was shout to the Zone.
I'm just saying.
That was Zone last night. Shout out to the Zone. Working with the Zone right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to work with, and we can start there. You got to work with Jessica McCaskill.
Yeah.
She's a monster on there. Is that one of the notes?
Jess is a beast.
Yeah.
Yo, she's a monster on there.
She's good.
I knew she was good. She's very poised. And I'm not gonna talk about her like I'm an expert and I'm surprised or anything like that. But just to, my thing when I'm specifically next to boxing people, I like to kind of just pick their brain. Yeah. She knows a lot about a lot. You know what I mean? So definitely outside of the boxing ring, she's got a lot to offer the boxing world, and of course inside of the boxing ring.
She's she Midwest? She Chicago?
She's Midwest.
Chicago?
She says born and raised in St. Louis and then moved to Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago was what was coming to mind, but and then K-Dab though, she's pretty decent at her job. The best of the best. Number one.
Case of knucklehead.
Fair.
No, K holds it down.
She comes after me every show.
Hey, that's her job.
It's necessary. We come after you every show too. So it just kind of all ties together. Maybe you just got a face like that.
Hey, she's like,
a little different though. Like I'm not used to a woman coming at me. I could I could defend myself. You know what I mean? So it's like I got to be careful.
I thought
In these times,
the Rolodex is not deep for women.
I actually needed, and we can touch on the live shows. I actually needed Kate. She's a Manchester United fan, and when we did the live at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame at the Red Tail, gala coming up August 26th.
Yeah,
people in the live all of a sudden started cooking me on the Manchester United kit.
Oh,
and so I was like, if Kate Abdo is here, there she would be defending me. But I had the Paul Pogba kit on, and then we did a live at the barbershop.
Yeah, those good times.
So we did back-to-back lives, played a little paintball. Paintball went well.
Shout out to all the fans that came out for paintball.
yeah, straight up. That was cool.
Some people, a lot of people went down yesterday. A lot of injuries yesterday.
For real?
Headshots.
What you mean?
Headshots. We lost my man Bryce.
Yeah.
When Bryce went down.
Straight to the midsection.
What you mean went down though?
Hey, no. Hey, my man took a headshot last time.
Yeah.
Then took a body shot. His body, he got a predetermined body. Hey, shout out to his daddy. Shout out to his daddy. That's what his daddy side.
I still don't even know. My guy Mario comes up, and I don't even know.
Man.
Still don't understand what happened. First game, he gets shot, and all of a sudden,
His forehead looks like that C on his head.
It was swelling like crazy. I couldn't believe it.
So he went away and then he comes back and it's like a little. It looks like a little flesh there, a little fleshy, and it's a little red. We go out for a game. We come back through. My man's sitting with a hematoma right here on his head.
Yeah,
I thought if the round had started, they would have said, "Go see the doctor in the corner."
Right.
Yeah,
We get serious out there.
Shout out to Carson's wife. You know,
How'd she play yesterday? Yeah,
yeah, she's the truth.
always.
Yeah,
She's had like a couple off weeks, but
you know, if they said we need to draft some women, she's up first.
yeah.
There was
she's
there
going
was
first.
one game where she connected like
3 headshots.
3 headshots. They were attributing to her.
She hit me in the head, and you know when you get punched or get hurt when you're a kid and you're waiting for the pain. I got hit with the paintball. I fell, and I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling no pain. I had protection." But she boom right in my head. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah,
That's how she did.
That was a play-by-play breakdown of the game.
Yeah, that was her
I think
sniping.
she went the second round. I think she was my second pick.
Yeah.
I got to pick someone.
Who the hell
better
did not pick
somewhere
her
around
first?
then.
I know better.
Who didn't pick her first? Well, who'd you pick first? That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember.
Because I definitely would have took her first.
Yeah, but
I went with Mario, then I went with her.
Mario's terrible.
yeah,
Shout out to Mario.
yeah. Hope the swelling.
But he
goes
like me,
down.
he got all the gear, so
Yeah,
he
was geared
makes you
up.
thank you. Let's go back real quick to the Nevada Boxing Hall
Yeah,
of
for
Fame.
sure.
I want to shout them out again.
No doubt.
They called on the podcast thinking that we would help them get the word out even more. So we're gonna continue to do that. The Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame ceremony, the gala is August 26th and 27th. The tickets are on sale now for that gala. You can go to nvbhof.com and you can buy tickets there right now.
And we needed Zittel there. We needed you there, Zittel.
Oh yeah.
Because so the way they were, I don't know if you tuned in on the Porterway, podcast, YouTube, but the way he was announcing Rambling Ralph.
Yeah, Rambling Ralph. Shout out to Rambling Ralph.
He would say, hey, this guy did blah 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 in this year, and we're like trying to figure it out. And I was like, we were all like,
I looked at Sean.
I
I looked at Carson. I was like, Sean would have this like immediately. He's like, yeah, no doubt.
the second he would have said a year.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. Did you happen to see the classes, Zittel?
I did, but I gotta look over it again. I know Mia St. John got in. Iran Barkley got in.
Bones Adams,
right? Former WBA.
I'll go through it real quick.
Yeah.
Because I want everybody, if you can get there, you should come. You should come not just to support the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Yes, I am. I do work with them, but beyond that, you get an opportunity to see some great fighters, some legends. You have an opportunity to be in a room with a lot of great people in boxing. The class of 2020: Bones Adams, Fernando Vargas, Jose Luis Castillo, Miguel Cotto, Julian Jackson, Mark Johnson, Too Sharp, Danny Lopez, Azuma Nelson, James Toney, Andre Ward. This is all 2020. Lorenzo Fertitta,
my guy,
your guy. Sammy Macias, Carlos Padilla, and Jose Suleiman, who is I think the original president of the WBC or the first president of the WBC.
Yeah, Mauricio.
That's 2020. So 2021, they only did 2. Floyd Mayweather Jr. as well as Roy Jones Jr.
So that's a great class.
If there are 2 guys to put in, and that's it, those are the 2.
Yeah. And then, of course, going back to 2022 now, Kennedy McKinney, Vince Phillips, Iran Barkley, Ray Mercer, I think was there the other night. Michael Nunn was there the other night. Israel Vasquez, Mia St. John, Gary Shaw. Shout out to Gary Shaw. Yeah. Big promoter in the early 2000s. And of course,
all the way to the late 2000s. Yeah.
Yep. Jerry Eisenberg. From the Eisenberg
Work Star. Yeah. Writer.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah. They spoke on him. I was like, I have no clue who that was. And then when they said his name, I said, oh, okay.
He was in the HBO Legendary Nights documentary. Yeah. He's great.
And Hector Macho Camacho.
Oof.
Bob Foster.
Bob Foster might be the best puncher in light heavyweight history. Might be.
So it's gonna be eventful. Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame is doing the best they can to make it exciting. They got a Resorts World. You guys didn't do the tour, but it's gonna be bananas.
And it was fun just that night.
Yeah,
we had a ball.
Even of the boxers, obviously Michael Nunn is getting in. He was funny. He was having a good time.
Yep.
Chop Corley was having a good time.
Yeah, Chop always having a good time.
Rock.
We don't want no problems.
This baby Rock right here.
Hey, shit. Y'all think I'm big. That boy, and I ain't talking about out of shape.
No.
He looked like he asleep.
Our guy, shout out to our guy Mac, he beat him in Connect 4. And I was like, I would lose in Connect 4 on purpose because he'll punch straight through that.
Yeah, I looked at Ann, I said, yo, he lost unless he punks Mac right here. And I was like, I don't
You're
know
not
if
counting out
I'm not sure he won't punk out Mac.
I think I would have missed one of the things. I
literally thought he was gonna take 2 and just go 1, 2, like now
do something about it.
Yeah.
Actually,
with that being said,
I saw him. I talked to him over the weekend, and it was crazy. Before the Canelo fight, this just goes to show Canelo's aura of invincibility. Before the Bivol fight, he thought Canelo could move up and beat Usyk. So, yeah. So that, and Rock knows how to break down fights with the best of them. So that just shows how much Canelo's aura of invincibility was heading into this weekend. But that's looking ahead to later on. Did you guys actually see that Blitz cabinet in the back?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
it was back there. Nobody touched it. Like we felt
people wanted to smoke with you though.
That is what people kept saying.
Yeah, where's Shawn at?
Man, I came to play Zittel and Blitz.
Yeah.
Oh.
People watched the podcast, man. They were ready for you.
Why are you so amazed at like where you think my numbers come from?
People showed up to paintball. Like, I saw it on I was like, oh, okay, cool.
You're like, whose podcast?
Everybody last night at the T-Mobile Arena, they're like, I love the podcast. I'm like, damn, like I did fight.
Yeah,
I can't wait till you get to the point where they don't talk about it fight no more.
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
I feel like I'm tomorrow away from that. Like tomorrow, that's gonna be it.
You're the Annie of retired boxing.
Like Zittel gonna start hitting them like, hey, I work for FightHype, okay? Don't stop with the podcast all the time.
Last thing for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, they have a disclaimer. They said we don't want to compete with the Canastota Hall of Fame. We just want to be. We believe that a Hall of Fame deserves to be in Las Vegas, in Nevada. Everyone that you see going into the Hall of Fame in Canastota, most of those fighters fought here in Las Vegas. Of course, Madison Square Garden in New York, and the list goes on. But I think that it's important to have a Hall of Fame here in Las Vegas because this really is and always has been the mecca of boxing. This is where every fighter wants to be. I remember when I got here, I hated being here, and then I caught a view of the skyline, and I was listening to some music, and I was like, I'm where every fighter wants to be, and I'm unhappy about being here. And that's really what changed my whole mindset about being here in Las Vegas. So Las Vegas deserves to have a Hall of Fame, and we want it to be big. August 26th and 27th, get your tickets, Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, NBBHOF.com.
And is it something that people visit outside of like gala and stuff like that.
They do have a Hall of Fame. What would you call it? Like a Hall of Fame,
building.
What would you call it? Because they
usually you just call it a Hall of Fame, like the Pro
Yeah.
Football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
3-0 all day.
They have had a place. It was opened up. I think it was 2018 or 2019. They opened this place up. It's at
Boulevard Mall.
Boulevard Mall.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's at the
there's a
Boulevard
place
Mall.
people can go
Yeah.
and see stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, usually people come here for a fight. That's something you can just pop over. You're a big boxing
Yeah.
fan. You make it to Vegas for a big fight. You can see that.
Boulevard Mall's right up the
It's like a
strip.
museum. It's
They need the support of boxing. You know, with the support of boxing, they can get their own building and create a Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. So
Go ahead, Zittel.
Oh no, yeah, that place you definitely got to visit it if you're a boxing fan at the Boulevard Mall. And
Yeah,
also,
check it
man,
out.
get your merch when you go out there. I've been living off these like shirts the last 3 years. I got like 10 different fighters of them at the Nevada
living
Boxing.
off these shirts.
I like it. Yeah, but
That's clothes shopping for you.
yeah, absolutely.
It was.
You go,
hey,
school,
I
you
got
go school shopping once a year at the gala.
half of them got stolen at this point. And so I had someone borrow the Evander Holyfield shirt, gone.
That's what you
My
get.
Aaron Pryor shirt is gone. My Thomas Hearn shirt is gone, but I still got
Somebody hawked the Aaron Pryor shirt.
That's crazy.
it was
silly.
Hey, no. If you want, for all due respect to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, you want to be in the Zittel Hall of Fame. Look over his shoulder.
Yeah.
My man got some legends behind him that he took pictures with,
And-
bro.
Oh, yeah. He said, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he forgot. Yeah, you got some legends up there, man.
Yeah,
doubt.
that's shit. Maybe one time I gotta put it up, but that was like
All right.
Yeah, it's nice little
Don't show
collage.
too much. I don't want to see nothing.
Nice little collage there.
Is there a way to donate to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame?
I mean, that's essentially what you're doing when you buy the tickets. Of
Okay.
course, if you can't go, but you still want to donate, they have contact information on the website, nvbhof.com.
Okay.
Contact somebody if you want to just donate, anything like that. I know there's a lot of fighters out there. They do autograph sign gloves and sell and, for auction and all that kind of stuff. So it's a work in progress. I believe this is year 8 for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, and they just want to get bigger and better. And I'm ecstatic that they called on the podcast to do what we did the other night. That
Most
was
Hall of Fames, have been around forever, so they're definitely getting the
Yeah,
ball.
they got some
rolling.
time.
Yeah, it'll build from there.
So shout out to Michelle. She's doing a great job over
Absolutely.
there. Yeah.
Wallace Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah. So, big fight last night.
Yeah, man.
You were in the building.
Yeah, man.
Hey, he clipped him in the first round.
Who
The first fight, the Chinese dude.
Oh, Big Bang Jang.
Big bang.
Yeah, Big Bang. Hit him with the Big Bang.
I was a little disappointed that he didn't get to. So he was going to match up with Phil Bergovich, which was going to be a good match. Going to be a title
That last-
eliminator. Bergovich's dad, they said, reportedly passed away.
okay.
Maybe in April, but it was a last minute. He ended up having to pull out, and
Boy, he got a
Big Bang's
bang
in.
on him.
Bergovich would have beat him, but
That's what a lot of people are
Yeah.
saying. I think the same. Ervovich has a lot of offensive weapons.
Yeah.
He's very versatile offensively. So
anything else noteworthy on the undercard?
That was it. That's all I had.
Jang, though, to his credit, fun TV fighter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think if we really quickly go to the co-main, I don't think we have nice things to say about this fight as a whole.
Montana Love.
Yeah.
I like the straight left, straight, sharp shot, but yeah, he was content to pop shot with it.
Could have made it a little easier on himself. I think letting his hands go a little bit more.
Yeah, I felt like using the jab, you know how I am, but starting with the jab, especially from the outside, I think would have helped. And I don't want to say anything that's gonna, for the sake of words, expose Montana Love. I don't think he was exposed last night. I don't think that last night was a reflection of who he is as a fighter. I just think that it was the guy in front of him did not make this a TV friendly fight. And I told this to Montana, and then I just happened to walk into his locker room, on the other side of his locker room.
You're looking for the bathroom.
Yeah, I was looking for the bathroom.
Get the hell out of
No,
here.
100% looking for the bathroom. I told him, I said, yo, I just told Montana this. I would be remiss if I didn't tell y'all. You got to make sure you when you guys can make these matches, especially for TV, make sure you make a match that's gonna be beneficial for boxing but also beneficial for Montana Love on TV. This was not a good TV fight. I remember early on in my career hearing my dad talk about TV fights and we can't take this fight and so on and so forth. I had no clue what he was talking about. My dad never wanted me to be in a ring in a fight where the fight could be boring or somebody would be doing something that just wasn't aesthetically friendly for fight fans. And that's what we got last night from Montana Love. I did think he won the fight. I thought it was extremely close. I wasn't sure if they were going to give him the victory or if it was going to be a draw. But I thought it was very close. I thought this guy fought. This is what I like about this fight. Hey, Shawn, I want your input on this too. But Styles Make Fights and
StylesMakeFights.com.
Styles Make Fights, Chris and Gil.
Yep. Shout out to my guys, StylesMakeFights.com. People think that the only way you outpunch, or excuse me, not outpunch, but the only way you box a counterpuncher is by throwing combinations and by being aggressive and by getting to the body and backing that counterpuncher up. I felt like what we saw last night is definitely contrary to that belief, and I like it. I believe that you can counterpunch a counterpuncher, and I believe that that's what was happening to Montana Love last night. The guy was forcing Montana to be first. That's not his rhythm, and it left him open quite a few times throughout that fight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the fight where Jose Luis Castillo in that first fight gave Floyd probably the toughest fight of his career. He actually, even though he was aggressive and stayed on top of Floyd, he would counter the counters a lot of the time. Sometimes even bait the counter to then counter the counter. But really and Miguel Cotto did that a little bit with Mayweather too, whereas Maidana did the more, typical game plan you were talking about. You just got a whole bunch of punches against the counter puncher. But I noticed with guys that did what you're talking about, they still had to fight on the front foot and stay on top of them. Yeah. But they did counter the counter puncher sometimes. But with Montana Love in this fight, I actually thought he won wider than the cards had it, because I just didn't see Golaz getting off to anything effective, and he was getting popped with the straight left hand. Sometimes only 2 or 3 times, 4 times around, because Montana wasn't opening up much, but that was the cleanest shot all night. Mm-hmm. And I just wonder if Montana's the kind of guy that you got to speed him up to get him to throw more punches.
Exactly.
And that doesn't excuse, that he should have stepped it up as a co-main event on a big opportunity like this to keep his momentum going. Yeah. But against Baranchyk, who forced him to fight, that's where we saw him open it up. Yeah. And against, Golaz, he was content just to take what was there. Golaz wasn't letting his hands go a whole lot either. He respected the sting on that straight left hand enough to think twice. And it was what it was. But I think Montana might be the kind of guy where if you let him just land that one left hand and he can win rounds doing that, he'll do that. You got to speed him up a little bit to get the best out of him.
Yeah. Got to speed him up. I would love for DAZN to speed him up. Like I like everything you just said. You're right.
Hey, how far away is he from fighting the big dogs?
At 135, he's a little ways away.
He could use a tough, 10 to 12 rounds against a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
To get ready for that.
So a guy we mentioned last night on the show, at my house, is Mikey Garcia. Put him in there with Mikey.
Is Montana at 35? Because I thought he was at 40.
He needs to be at 35. 40. This fight was at 35, and he made the weight.
Okay. All right. So
did he fight? He fought Baranchyk at 40 though.
40, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How y'all feel about the Mikey matchup?
At 40? Mikey at 40?
Mikey at 40.
I like him at 35. I don't like him at 40. I think he'll be his most healthiest and sharpest at 135. At 140, the power may not translate for him. He may even be a little off with his timing and his rhythm,
Was it I thought he was closing in on the IBF shot at 140. That's why he had that IBF title.
I think this was a title eliminator.
Yeah.
Somebody said at the house yesterday. Shane Mosley Jr. maybe?
Yeah.
Shane Mosley Jr.
He had the IBF was in the ring after the fight.
Yeah, and it was a 12-round fight.
Yeah, it was a 12-round fight at 135 though.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I know because I double checked. Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
To me,
I trust you.
Yeah. So
who's the champ at 135? IBF.
It would be
Come on.
Kambosos.
Uh-oh.
that's what I thought.
Uh-oh.
Kambosos.
Uh-oh.
I know Montana Love like for forever. I mean, you've met him before.
Yes.
I believe that he needs heat under him to get him to be his best. Putting heat under him is forcing him to make 135 pounds, not allowing him to make 140. There's a difference.
Gotcha.
And the difference was show in his performance.
That being said, I want Haney to beat Kambosos. The press conference leading up to this
That
one,
would be crazy.
they will go all night. They may fight before the fight.
Right.
And I mean both camps.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
This is going, this fight, yeah.
It's church against the dog called Pappy.
Yeah, it could, you know, but yeah, I'll
Don't disrespect. It's Poppy. Don't disrespect.
Oh, see, Eddie Hearn got me saying Pappy.
Oh,
Pappy.
You get all the damn accents,
Yeah,
all the impressions.
K had me say status last night. I was like, wait a minute. What is that?
Influence you, man. Yeah, main event.
But overall, I'd like to see him back in the ring relatively soon.
Yeah.
Kind of wash this one away.
Yeah.
So does he get the winner or he has to fight another eliminator?
Well, we see that there's already clauses in the contract from what we've been told between.
He's talking about co-main. Or you're talking about
Haney
and Kambosos.
Kambosos.
Oh yeah, that they have to rematch anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So
it'll be a couple out. But yeah, just keep the momentum going for sure. What?
Go ahead. Get your seat going.
Oh, for the main event?
Yeah.
I think we watered it down. You good now?
Yeah, I'm good.
He been ready to get to it.
Yeah. Well,
no,
I think coming out the gate, the energy will be a little different.
Oh
than it
no.
is now.
I mean, I also picked Gamboa to beat Cruz, so I'm not like a perfect.
But who
predictor
cares
of
about
fights.
getting the undercard fights wrong? You picked the so far the biggest fight of the year right and enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I think part of it was. And shout out to our other guys that were there, like we said, Sean King, former NFL quarterback, great guy.
He Buccaneers.
He had Bivol.
Right.
Our guy Martrell also had Bivol.
Yeah, who is his brother?
A lot of really savvy people in the sport last minute, and it wasn't the fight week hype that did this either, because this didn't happen for Plant or Saunders or Callum Smith. A lot of people last minute were like, I think I got Bivol, or at least we're giving him a really serious chance. So yeah.
I knew I was nervous when I couldn't bet on Canelo, and I never been nervous to bet on Canelo.
Before the fight?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
And I have to. And
For yourself or just everything you were hearing
myself,
from other people?
No, for myself. I just I started watching this dude. I'm like,
And I have to give a shout out to my guy Lefty of Chicken Talk. He was an early believer in Bivol on this.
I wasn't.
And the second we had the clip, the second the fight got announced, they came in here and said, I think he beats him.
Yeah.
And I think part of the
Shout out to the Blade Barbershop, Dre. Yeah. Dre told me 3 years ago.
And the fact that Dre believed in him made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, shout out to Dre.
Doesn't usually get him.
Carson got two people he don't believe in, Dre and Martrell.
Yeah, and both of them were with Bivol, so I was sweating bullets. But and also one thing to mention, I wasn't rooting for Bivol. Like I didn't care if Canelo won or not. I just thought he was gonna win. But I think part of like my frustration with it was there were too many things that made sense and people just ignored it.
Yeah.
I was like, he's the bigger guy. Yeah, well, he's not that much bigger. Yeah, but he is. He's a 175 pounder for his career. He's a bigger guy.
Right.
The jab, the 1-2.
I just thought about what do you think he is in the ring that night?
Bivol? I don't know.
200 pounds?
Sure.
190.
Okay.
195. He doesn't strike me as a guy that would rehydrate and just be crazy amounts of weight over.
And I didn't think, to be fair, I even said I didn't think he was going to blow him out, which in my humblest opinion, he did.
117, 111.
Yeah, that's how I had it, 117, 111. Yeah.
117, 111.
I was
like 9-3.
Yeah. I guess I was just surprised that he,
every time I add the 10s and the 9s, it don't add up right.
I was just surprised that the little credit he was getting. The people really were just like, nah. He doesn't have a chance.
Canelo's just so big, Carson. He's the face of boxing, so there's just so much respect on his name that they're like, whoever gets in there with, F him.
So where do we want to start with it?
Shoot, I thought we already started it.
I'm just saying, do we want to go what went wrong for Canelo, what went right for Bivol, the scoring?
Well, I want to talk about the scoring.
Okay, go ahead.
How can you give? I'm a Canelo fan. I purchased his hat the day before. I want money back.
That you did.
Yeah, I want money back now.
Sorry, tough break.
Yeah, but how can you score all three judges 113, 115? Like my man literally was winning the fight big time. I felt like he just cleaned up the rounds.
Yeah.
I literally had somebody text me in the 12th round. I was like, 11 round and said if Canelo get the 12th, I got it a draw. I'm like, how?
Well, if you look at
How?
so if you look at the scorecards, which we're looking at now, so they gave Canelo all 4 of the first rounds, all 3 judges.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But if you look at it just on a finite level, if Canelo wins the 12th, it's a draw.
I didn't say
Are all 3 scorecards the exact same?
thing.
Yeah. So,
but all 3 our scorecards are the exact same too. 117,
but
111.
they were
I
correct.
guess we can't.
How did you have it?
I had it 116, 112. I gave 2, 3, 4, and 9 to Canelo. Round 1 was kind of close, and you'd be generous to give it to Canelo. And if you gave it to Canelo, there's your 115, 113. But again,
I almost had to chest punch my cousin Drew with a Bivol right hand yesterday.
Oh my God!
He listens to the podcast, so I have to mention this. So we're all the first round ends. We're all, what do you think? What do you think? And I said, who gave Canelo that round? Like, really?
Nobody.
And everyone's like, nah, not really. And so I asked my cousin Drew, knows boxing decently well. I said, how'd you have? He goes, I can't really call it either way.
I got a draw. He said I got a draw.
I got a draw. And I said,
first round?
Yeah. I said, well, you have to pick one. But I don't know. I can't really see it either way. I said, that's not, you can't just leave it. And then we're joking. You can't just leave it blank and then go back and fill it in afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. It was crazy. Scoring was crazy.
Yeah.
That was, if he had won the 12th, then it would have been a draw.
Yeah.
Like, how do you walk away from that?
Yeah.
I was waiting on the robbery. I'm gonna be honest with you
And
guys.
they had a moment of panic yesterday.
I almost crap my pants.
Do you have it? He'll put it in later. So they have.
Y'all recording me?
Yeah. They read it, and I was feeling confident, even though Canelo's scorecards sometimes are a little crazy. I was feeling good, and so they read it and they say, "And still," and Ant was like, "Oh," and I was like, "No, he's the champion. And he's undefeated. So relax."
That still got me though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's.
It got the crowd. It got everybody.
I was like, don't do this dude like that.
I was like, okay.
But I think going to the fight in general, I don't think this there's a natural reaction to want to knock Canelo down, or he wasn't as good as we thought he was. He's been fighting all these European bums. However you want to look at it, it was just a step too far.
Yeah,
you went up, you tried to fight.
It was just a step too far.
Yeah, you tried to fight a 175-pound champion in his prime.
He tests greatness.
Yeah, and he has the traits that give Canelo problems. Like that it was just as easy as that.
I know we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I believe Canelo will win the rematch.
Yeah, I don't count him out of that.
Oh, shit.
I think
Me and Carson do not believe that.
I know we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I do believe that. Let's get into the X's and O's.
Yeah.
And I think what people missed about Bivol, when you're big like Bivol, it's to the naked eye, to everybody on the outside looking in, we all say, well, he's going to be slower than Canelo, and Canelo's just going to break him down. He's got so much body for Canelo to hit. Canelo never really went to the body. Canelo was never an exclusive body puncher throughout this fight.
He was an arm puncher.
He was an arm puncher this entire fight. Nothing that he did. Canelo never really tried to go solar plex, liver shock, and dig and just keep going. Go back to Errol Spence Jr. a few weeks ago when Errol knew what he had to do. He dug down. He went exclusively to the body, exclusively to the inside, which is where Canelo needed to keep this fight. You go back to game planning. You go back to preparation. Canelo has not had to prepare for fighting an inside fight with anyone. So he has not prepared himself for a Bivol. Bivol did not have to change anything at all. He still worked behind the jab. He still used the ring the way he wanted to. Still found moments to take one step back, like we see on the highlights. One big step back just to get out of the range. Yeah. And Canelo has not had to go after guys like that. He has not had to track guys down, guys that move consistently and had these different movements. So I personally felt like Canelo was not as prepared for this fight as he could have been and should have been. I believe that Canelo left a lot of things in the gym and also in the locker room, i.e. the body punching was not there. There was no serious jab from Canelo this entire fight. There was no head movement. There was no feints. He left a whole lot of things in the gym and in the locker room, and I think that those are all attributes that he has. I'm not talking about anything that he needs to do that he can't do, but I think that he didn't do any of those things. And it didn't allow any. He didn't set anything up the entire night.
He was laser focused on that uppercut.
Yeah.
He landed some of them, but he was winging that uppercut.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
But all said, Sean, does you feel like it's Bivol that reason why he couldn't do that? Literally, he couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah.
He couldn't get a big shot off. The guy's defense was great, better than I thought.
yeah.
Well,
That's what he would throw a shot and bring it right back.
I got
he
worried.
hit with it early, but he made the adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got worried early on. I thought that his defense was going to be to just stand there and allow Canelo to just throw. And I was like, no, that's not it. You have to still be able to step back and start to use the ring a little more, which he did do.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
In the fifth round, that's what he did. He picked up his feet a little bit.
yeah.
And it gave Canelo problems. And he just had a great sense for knowing when Canelo wants to rest during those.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a
And
great.
I was gonna say he didn't go for the traps when Canelo was leaning
Yeah.
against the ropes
Said,
and had his
"Come
hands
here."
down or come on. He's just like, no, I'm good.
Hey, did he hurt Canelo 3 or 4 times?
I'm not sure.
Not particularly.
Oh, I feel like he hurt
I didn't
him.
get that vibe.
I didn't feel like either guy really got hurt that fight
No.
last night.
And Bivol was smart not to overcommit to those combinations. He put something on 1 or 2 or 3 out of the 4 or 5 punch combos, but he didn't overcommit because that's all Canelo wanted was to get him in an exchange. That setting that lazy trap on the ropes. But sorry.
Hey, Sean, Carson,
Yeah.
Zittel, David Benavidez, Charlo, whoever else, 3 fights. We don't even care about this fight no more. They lost this fight.
If he were to take on those
If
3
he
fights,
cleans that,
Yeah.
Is Canelo's to that point where this victory is be like Manny Pacquiao losses?
yeah.
I think a loss, no matter how great you are, unless you avenge it, or come up with a big win or a big win or 2 after, it always takes a little luster off of you. He's still a superstar. He's still Canelo. He's still one of the greatest fighters on the planet. But yeah, it takes a little luster off of it. I want to see the rematch eventually. Maybe Golovkin first, because they were talking about him fighting in December, as well as September. So maybe now, instead of it being some John Ryder fight in England, it could be a rematch with Bivol if he can take care of Golovkin, or maybe they push Golovkin to the side and make this Bivol fight first.
Yeah.
What was the best thing that Bivol did to you last night?
I actually think, because I think not overcommitting. I think just fighting his fight. The moment didn't seem too big for him.
Yeah.
And when we were watching the fight and people on Twitter, people in the house, I was like, there would be times where they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, you've really never seen Bivol fight. It's like, that's how Bivol fights.
Yeah.
He's not. And then when Canelo's leaning against the ropes, he's like, he's not going to go for it.
Yeah.
He's not, he doesn't overcommit.
What about you, Zittel?
So I thought he really picked up on Canelo's rhythm. And he started using his feet a little bit more. Even though he was behind early, he didn't panic and start opening up too much. He used his feet and was smart and made adjustments. And I thought the best thing he did was just have a sense for Canelo's rhythm of when Canelo wanted to breathe and take his rest in between his spurts. And he took advantage of it every time. Canelo has great defense, so he'd throw in combinations so that even if 1, 2, 3, or 4 missed, 2 got in behind it, or at some point in the combination. But for this fight, for a rematch, Canelo, his stamina really let him down in this fight. And that used to be a problem for him, back in his career, and it got better. But by the second half of the fight, there was already a little bit of steam off his shots at times. He had to fight with his hands at his waist a lot more than we're used to. Usually he could fight all 12 rounds, hands up, head movement, over and over again. But I'm curious if that's the real main adjustment in a rematch is can he get his gas tank up to pace to push a better pace? In the first Golovkin fight, he threw, I think, 500 punches. In the second fight, he threw almost 120 more punches. That's 10 more punches per round. Maybe that can do, maybe that's the main adjustment for him. Or is can he pick up the pace and fight at Bivol's pace more? Because that's what I saw Bivol really take advantage of.
Yep.
This fight.
What
did you have for the most?
What got me is you look at the record 19-0 and you expect this guy don't really know a veteran in the ring. He looked like a veteran in the ring. He didn't overcommit like you guys said.
Yeah.
His movement was great.
Yeah.
He did everything it took to win that last night.
Yeah.
There was a point where they were literally just standing at each other. He's like, I'm not going in. He's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I don't. Why? I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
There was a point during fight week where we were talking to him. We were recalling how this guy had pictures of himself fighting since he was 5 and 6 years old. And it's like, you've been fighting longer than Canelo, technically. Not, but so, yeah, he's, to speak to your point, Ant, about he showed up like a guy who had been there before.
And that's why somebody pointed out that he had 19 fights. I said, yeah, he had like 250 amateur fights, though. So it's not like he's just a guy off the block.
In the crowd, man, it was an upset crowd. Sean, you were there, man. There was no energy in that crowd.
Yeah.
For a Canelo fight, it was dead compared to the Plant fight, compared to, Cowboy Stadium. So it had the upset night all over.
It was funny to feel the energy in the crowd being so pro Canelo. It was almost like they weren't convinced until round 7 or 8, round 8, 7 or 8.
That something was amiss.
That something was something was amiss. Before that, it was every time Canelo threw, every time Canelo got close, it was the typical And then when Bivol was landing punches early on, you would hear oohs, but they go away very quickly. Yeah. Near the end of the fight, every time Bivol landed a punch, you could hear the crowd oohing out of worry and fear, and that was really funny to me, because it was like, when you get on TV and you promote a fight, you got to convince people that this is going to be a great fight. You got to convince people that, well, I know you don't know this guy, but trust me, he's got a chance. You got to convince people. Even in the crowd, upwards to 7 or 8 rounds, they were not convinced that Canelo wasn't going to pull this off. Then guess what? Round 10 comes around. Everybody's quiet because they realize, this guy's really big. Yeah. This Canelo can't hurt this guy. Yeah. He might not be able to knock him out.
On the inside, that's when Bivol, in those last couple rounds, actually surprised Canelo and stayed in close and banged him with a couple of left hooks inside. And that you're right. That's when it was kind of like, okay, now he's even beating Canelo in close, where Canelo wants him to be at. Yeah.
And that's what I found the most impressive thing that I found about Bivol was what we just saw right there. He counterpunched in combination, which I thought was pretty cool. It was like when he chose to counter Canelo, it was 3 or 4 punches. And then there were also moments where, just like this right here, where he's gonna take advantage of this moment right here. I got a moment. Look, guess what? It's not about knocking you out. It's about taking advantage and letting everybody see that I'm winning this fight and that I can beat you. And then once I'm done taking advantage of this moment, 10 seconds of that. All you need is 10 seconds to convince a judge that I won this round. And then he backs off and he goes back to, let me get back into my rhythm and get back to being patient and doing what I got to do to win this fight. You know what I mean? So he showed intelligence last night on a level that is on a supreme level. I don't think we see that often.
He was a guy that was co-signed by Andre Ward some time ago. People claimed Ward retired to duck, Bivol, just internet bluster. But Andre Ward kind of co-signed him. Like he's legit. Yeah.
And he more than stood his ground, because I told him that was going to be a big thing. He stood his fucking ground.
Yeah. One thing I don't like with, so Canelo, you always mention, striving for greatness, going for it, daring to be great. I'm all about that. Do it. Go up the fight. But when you do that and you get credit for it, when you lose, you get knocked for it. Yeah. So now you can't be like, as a Canelo fan, you can't say
he's too big.
He was going up to 175. He's not supposed to beat that guy anyway. Okay. Well then you can't give him credit when he beats the guy at 175.
You say that, but they all gonna say that.
Yeah, of course. So And there's that back and forth a little bit where it's like, there are fighters that people want to do that more. Test yourself. Put yourself in a fight that is a 50-50 fight where you are not somebody that's going to just cruise for a win. Yeah.
Zittel, is it, I'm a big Floyd fan. Floyd, a lot of people tell me that really don't know boxing. Floyd fought in the safe zone at 147, 154. People wanted Floyd to do this. Keep going up. Go to 160. Keep going up until he literally got in a 50-50 fight like this. Do you feel like that's what people wanted Floyd to do, what he's doing, Canelo's doing, just keep going up?
No, I don't think.
Not true boxing fans, but outsiders.
No, I think purists that don't have an axe to grind against Floyd or anything. They just wanted the highest level of opposition possible. I think he was in the right weight divisions and fought a lot of the best guys. It's just De La Hoya was 34. they come from 2 different Olympic classes. That's not Floyd's fault. By the time he got up in that weight division, that's the age De La Hoya was at. Shane Mosley was 38, but that was a fight that could have been made no 6, and Shane talked about his tooth. And even were some talks when they're at 130 and 135, but the business happened when it happened. But no, in Floyd's case, he was in the right divisions, beat all the right guys. I guess the only thing you could worry about isn't that he did go to 160. It was that De La Hoya had a receding hairline and Shane Mosley was a little old.
Damn, the hairline.
Come on, man. Why are you doing that?
I use that joke as a microcosm that De La Hoya, when he fought Floyd at 50, since we're on it for randomly, he would have still beat the Miguel Cottos and the Antonio Margaritos that night. So Floyd definitely beat Oscar De La Hoya with juice in the tank. It was a great win, but he didn't beat that fresh hairline, great legs.
Hey, we done talking about Floyd.
Yeah, and I would still like to see Canelo continue to do that. If that's the legacy you want, do it. If you want to go 68, 75 it was a bridge too far.
I do think that we're gonna get the rematch.
He loses the rematch. I'm sorry,
I don't think he loses the rematch.
I don't see how he wins the rematch.
But what I'm looking at in the highlights that we have now, of course, these are later rounds and everything. But the thing about me and people always talked about me having an endless gas tank, and I fought the same way in the 12th round that I fought in the first round. Main reason why I fought that way was because I had to be that on, especially against the elite guys. If I wasn't on, I would be off and something could happen or would happen. Canelo, I don't know if he has the ability to stay on. He's gotten so used to finding his moments to have these breathers and these moments to have these spurts. Against Bivol, he has to be on. I think that's number one. Like to Zitel's point, can he get his stamina up like that to a point to where he is, whether that's offensively or defensively, something's going on at all points in time.
Or in that Triple G rematch. Well, you can do it again. Yeah.
I looked over at Kate and I said offense. I looked at Kate and I said, and also McCaskill. I said, my dad always said, punching or fainting or punching. You're always doing something in the ring. I said, you can see that Canelo is not, he's not consistent with his movement at every point of this fight. And that's why he's falling behind. And I think that, to my dad's point, I was always moving. I was always doing something. And then now, and never allowed the guy to catch his rhythm, never allowed the guy to really start to work the way that he wants to work. Everybody says it's always going to be an ugly night when you're going up against Shawn Porter, because I really never allow guys to rest. And Canelo, in order for him to beat Bivol, he can't rest. He's got to break Bivol down to a point where he can find that rest, because Bivol doesn't have the snap and Bivol isn't moving the way that he moved that entire fight.
I think he had more snap than maybe anticipated, because
100%.
he was popping him with some shots.
I didn't see a lot of body work last night.
If you go and you take a look at this, if you look at just Canelo in this fight and you go and take a look at the last 3 fights that he had, he fought the exact same way against Bivol that he fought against Caleb Plant, that he fought against Billy Joe Saunders, and the list goes on. StylesMakeFights.com.
Of course.
And with that being said, you can't come to the ring. Now he knows. That shit didn't work. I got to go back and I got to do something different. I got to come back to the ring with 2 and 3 different game plans. And I think that that's going to happen in a rematch.
Is it possible it's his Vernon Forrest, Shane Mosley?
I don't think so. I'm not convinced that he is. I don't know for sure. But this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. I think the biggest thing that has to change about Canelo, which probably won't change, is his feet. Canelo's explosive top body. Yeah. He doesn't have explosive bottom side. You know what I mean? Like, he can't close the distance very quickly. He closes the distance behind the jab and the explosive right hand. If he can't close the distance against Bivol with his feet to get close to him and make this an inside fight, get to the body, then it's going to be the same thing all over again.
So he also, and this is going to sound funny, Does he really need to change that much? He almost won yesterday. Like he almost won. He almost
That's on
won
the
yesterday,
judges,
so-
Carson.
Take that fight somewhere. Take this fight somewhere else.
So it's frustrating that way, and then also, and credit to Bivol, who also has a really good sense of humor because he had some good. He had some good lines at the press conference
Yeah, he was
afterwards,
comfortable, man.
yeah, and in the ring. But he said afterwards, and I absolutely agree. He's like, treat me like the champion next time. When we rematch, like,
They never gonna do that.
but well,
No, they don't have a
I would-
choice.
Yeah, I would just say,
Yeah,
well,
they don't
I'm not
have a
gonna
choice.
rematch him then.
Yeah.
Like, tough
He's
break.
Canelo. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It's like Anthony Joshua over there. He lost, and they still treated Andy Ruiz like he wasn't champ.
Yeah.
Think about it.
No, did Bivol not walk first yesterday?
He did, and he was.
And he's the champion. And then when Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua fought, Anthony Joshua walked
But he's
first
still
and won
gonna get the
champion.
money. He gonna still get the money. You can go walk first.
I'm sure Canelo's gonna
Give me my money.
I'm sure
You can-
Canelo's
you
gonna
can walk
get
first.
the
I don't care.
lion's share of the money, but I'm saying you need to. That needs to balance out because now he beat you, so it has to balance out to an extent. But yeah, I'm looking at the scorecards and I'm like, does Canelo really
That's
need
so
to?
funny,
Does he
man.
really need to adjust
That's
that much? Because
crazy.
Yeah, he
almost
do.
won yesterday.
He does.
He was one round away from getting. That's crazy.
He's 1 round away from a draw.
And
he's 2
I'm
rounds
a
away from
Canelo
win.
fan. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know. The judging that's rough.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone that had it that way.
Y'all ready
but
for the heat?
Good. We also, I'm just gonna say this. We do also have to preview Charlo-Castano too.
Oh, okay.
I didn't-
All right,
no,
all right.
you no. Go ahead. No, go
Little
ahead. Hot
bit,
take.
little bit.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. We mentioned it a little bit last week. I tapped it. Y'all threw it away. Especially as I tell.
Oh boy.
Eddy Reynoso's overrated.
Oh.
In the last 2 weeks, Eddy Reynoso's won 4 rounds in 24 world title fights.
Though, man. Freddie
He
Rose,
made-
Buddy
he
McGirt, guys go through losing streaks.
Hey, what adjustments did he make in the last 24 rounds?
Ooh.
I didn't see no adjustments in both his fighters.
Preparation.
Is he just got one of the greatest fighters of all time?
I thought his game plan with Valdez and Stevenson was solid. It's just Stevenson's
Adjust.
a better fighter, you know.
What is the adjustment?
You got the fighter. The fighter. I don't think it's
You just
much
think
that Valdez.
Kentucky
could-
Derby. You just think he didn't have the horse for it?
He didn't make no adjustment. Hey,
Yeah.
bring Jose back in here. Bring your daddy back in here. Bring your daddy back in here. Hey, Reynoso.
So as I tell you, you're still shooting that down with prejudice.
What? Oh,
I'm prejudiced. I'm not prejudiced.
I'm saying.
no. Well, how things turn, you know.
Mexican baby.
First, Reynoso was overrated, and that Canelo in the time after the Mayweather fight, maybe he should have went to like a Freddie Roach or Robert Garcia or Nacho Beristain, but then Eddie proved himself to be a great trainer, and I do think that great trainers, even Emmanuel Stewart and Buddy McGirt and Freddie Roach, they go through losing streaks. So Reynoso is still a great trainer. Maybe you guys are right about the adjustments, and that's something he'll have to work on the fly in the corner, because he's the kind of guy who thinks he's got it all figured out from the tapes and setting out the game plan. And usually the game plan's superb. It was against Plant and Saunders. For Valdez against Burchell, it was superb. But then his guys go up against guys who like to box a little bit more off the back foot, and that gives them. Well, Saunders and Plant did the same thing, or Saunders and Plant did the same thing. I just think you go through some losing streaks, even if you're a great trainer.
Isn't he also? You mentioned earlier the gas tank, though. Isn't he also partially responsible for that? Eddie Reynoso and Canelo.
You supposed to get him right.
I'm sure there's a strength and conditioning guy. I'm not questioning that, but
Even Chris Arreola,
trainer,
he
so.
tweeted the same thing out, that he felt he was overrated last night.
probably
I also think there's another guy overrated called Bomac, and he will get exposed in the Spence Crawford fight. I'm gonna be honest with you.
yeah. I don't
Even
know.
Bomac,
you got-
a guy like Rob Brandt, and all respect to Rob Brandt. I just mean, I know probably some coaches along the way would have felt Rob Brandt overachieved by getting to the WBA title. Some people felt that way with Jermell Herring, even though he was an Olympian. So, Bomac's made some good things happen, but
Right.
just
He
because
also
you're
got
good
one of the
doesn't mean
greatest
you can't
fighters.
be overrated. That's true too, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I would say he's overrated. He definitely, like Zittel said,
He had a bad 2 weeks.
yeah. But if it's something that it's a pattern, like Zittel said, people that like to box the opponent. Well, if you can't adjust to that consistently,
Right,
That's not a good
that's
thing.
on you.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
that's
a
on
good
you.
thing if it's a pattern of behavior.
Right.
If you're not able to adjust there, but yeah, it was a big weekend. And then next up, there's like 15 fight cards, by the way.
I'm on one.
Uh-oh, here go Carson's pet peeve.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah,
What?
I know.
I'm on one of them.
Yeah, that's probably one we're not going to address
Okay.
much. But
All right.
so
We're gonna address all of that.
Well, we can start. We can go quick through. Zurdo's back.
Start with mine.
No, we can go here. So Zurdo's back on DAZN.
You about to piss him off. He already
no,
mad
he's
about
good.
this whole moment.
No, he's good. Zurdo's back.
Pretty. Because now Bivol getting the belt, and if Bivol's not going to wind up fighting Canelo, Zurdo now is lined up pretty well to get a shot at Bivol at some point, man.
Right.
Yeah, 175 is starting to turn into a fun little division there. But
Sure is.
yeah, so Zurdo's back. Who's the guy with almost said with the old face? Zepeda. Zepeda's back. William Zepeda.
He does have an old face.
And he fights Rene Alvarado, who's he's, I think on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost the 2 versus Gutierrez.
How does
But
he do this and he don't have it in his face? Like,
Oh, yeah, he's a.
I just know
he
stuff.
got good grades in high school.
Yeah,
didn't he?
somebody's in my ear.
right.
Yeah, so that would be a good one. And then, do you want to talk about the card that you're on? Because I don't care to.
I got Triller next week.
Shout out to Triller.
Yeah, I'm on. I got.
I ain't mad at you, bro.
Yeah.
Get your paycheck, bro.
Yeah.
The most important part of that is, I think, is that Onyx and Cypress Hill.
It is.
Okay, yeah, that's the only thing. Shout out to Onyx and shout out to Cypress Hill. But
I
you're insane in the member.
Yeah, no, I got. Yeah, I don't have much for it. The Vargas brothers are fighting. Fernando Vargas Jr.
Emiliano, great talent.
Yep. Yeah.
Talent.
Oh no, I got it all. Yeah, the Evander Holyfield Jr.
Is it Evan?
Evan.
Yeah, Evan. Excuse me, Evan Holyfield's on the card. Cypress Hill and Onyx.
Okay.
Those three right there is the reason why I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And of course, the fact that it's right there in LA.
Did Snoop call you?
No.
Oh, he didn't call you personally? That's like his company.
You didn't even mention the main event, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Kovalev, Pulev. And it's not even Kubrat Pulev. Whatever.
You should just left it.
I'm not
They
even
would've been
front.
hyped.
Like my Porterweight podcast fans, I just want y'all to watch so y'all can hear me. I'm gonna be ringside.
Yeah.
That is where my passion for commentary is, and I never get ringside for the big ones. So, Triller's giving me an opportunity to do that. I can't wait for NBC to come back with Ring City, so that I can get more ringside commentary work. All that being said, I knew that I have an opportunity to be ringside and commentate. I love doing that.
Yeah.
And then to see the young guys on the card along with Cypress Hill and Onyx, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I can go for this.
I want to check, but I think there's an ESPN card too. Like I'm pretty
ESPN
sure.
Plus.
Yeah, who is on the ESPN
Tony
Plus?
Yoka versus Martin.
Tony Yoka's not
Blackle?
bad. Yeah.
Medalist from France.
Also, my man Badu Jack's fighting that night.
And Floyd Mayweather's fighting.
Yeah, in Dubai on the helipad.
Yeah, but yeah, Tony Yoka, and then so the main card coming up this weekend, also in California.
That's not Triller.
It is not Triller by about 4 cards.
Showtime. There's 3 fights in LA area the same night.
Thankfully, LA traffic's notoriously not bad, so you'll be good.
Yeah, you guys good.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
for
driving.
Kovalev, hard guy to root for after what's gone on outside the ring the last couple of years. But in the HBO days, one of the best jabs.
Crusher. He was a crusher.
Think about the old days. They're the old days. But Showtime. Some would say one of the best welterweights on the planet back in the ring.
Oh yeah, some would say he's overrated.
Not me.
Not
him.
me.
Who is it?
Jerome Boots Ennis.
Oh, Ennis.
Yeah.
Isn't he on the? He's on the screen behind me.
Hi, Ennis.
Yeah. Shout out to Boots.
Shout out to Boots.
Somewhere they asked him maybe Carson knows the source, who he would liken himself most to, and it was Roy Jones. So good call there.
Okay. Yeah.
I would agree. And Clayton's not bad. He's no slouch.
He's gonna push him.
Yeah, and
I
he's
saw
also
him recently.
Yeah, he's gonna push him.
he had a draw with Limonets. Go steal Clayton, maybe. But he's also, not to discredit, like he's 34, but he's not like a
Beat up 34.
34 that's
Yeah.
crazy losses. Yeah, like
He don't have no reach.
yeah. Draw with Limonets. Okay.
Look at his reach.
Oh man, 0 reach. That's crazy. Hate to see that.
All muscle.
Yeah, he's all muscle. That's Isak Cruz's reach. He's just all muscle.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll be good to see Boots back. There's been not a lot of noise about Boots, but rightfully so. There's been a lot of hype about him, so we'll get to see him in there again.
What ladder Boots heading up? IBF, WBA?
IBF, I believe.
Yeah, is this a title eliminator possibly?
IBF.
Yeah,
IBF
IBF.
welterweight.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll get
Pretty
to
sure
see.
he already did that though.
Okay, Earl, you're on the clock.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll work his way into a mandatory status hopefully at some point.
Sean, do you think,
give him a shot. Go ahead.
think Boots will ever fight Errol Spence or
Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Crawford, or those timelines aren't going to line up?
I feel like those timelines aren't going to line up. I feel like both gentlemen will end up moving up to 54 right after they fight one another.
Yeah.
And maybe even chase each other at 54. It could be a situation where we see them fight at 47.
They're gonna be like
maybe
Tom and Jerry.
And maybe even see a rematch at 54. We may not even see the rematch at 47.
Hey, do you want to do your hater segment of the day?
Yeah, sure. I have a hater segment.
Well, should we also preview the main event first?
Hey, who you think he can get?
Who?
Crawford or Spence?
Who do I think
Ennis.
he can beat?
Who do you think he'll get a
fight?
tougher test?
I think both of them.
Yeah.
He would give him hell?
I think, yeah, collectively with the styles, even those guys fighting differently, that's still, I think that.
Only thing I think they can get on him is experience.
Yeah.
That's what I think, and I'm sure that's what their camps think. I do believe the same, but it's weird, man. Like Jerron is talented plus, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like that just makes you different.
He
you know
good.
what I mean?
He good.
And and I'm not saying Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford aren't talented plus, because of course they are.
Yeah.
But we don't see talented plus against talented plus very often. You know what I mean? Especially with the youth of Jerron Ennis. So
Yeah. And then main event, we got.
I don't think we'll see those fights.
You don't think
I got a feeling we won't see those fights.
So rematch, how we feel? Charlo-Castano too.
You know, I like the Argentinian Shawn Porter. Big fan of the guy.
I feel like Charlo's the guy who should be able to be better from the first fight and make.
I agree.
You know,
I think he goes for the kill,
I do too.
and that's what scares
Well, the
me.
first what he told us in the morning of Spence Ugas, he said, "I got hit too much in that first fight, and I just didn't need to take that many punches." So he felt like he needed to defensively sharpen up in this rematch, and maybe make him miss and make him pay a little bit more, but. Castano, man, he throws heat. He's got good power and speed and throws great combinations. His speed was a little surprising, I think, to Charlo and to some of us ringside. We knew he could put combinations together, but he's got some fast hands. And Charlo fought well off the ropes, but got hurt on the ropes a few times. I just feel like it's Charlo's fight to lose. Like he should be the one with the height and more athleticism and should more tools. He's more, the boxer puncher. Castano can only fight the same way he did in the first fight. Maybe he could bring it somehow even more. Maybe defensively tighten up a little bit. But really Castano is going to bring more of the same. It's Charlo who should be able to find more tools in his toolbox than from the first fight and make the adjustments.
I don't think there's much about Castano that needs to change. I think that he kept.
Most people thought he won the first fight. So
I thought he won the first fight.
I thought he kept Jermell Charlo off balance the entire fight. The movement, the in and out, the feigning, the combinations, the whole nine. I don't think that there's anything about Castano that needs to change. Except for one thing. He's number one. He's got to stay focused. We had a weird moment in the fight that I hated. Even when he came back to the corner, the coach was telling him something like "You're okay" or something like that. Like we're almost there or something. It was something strange. Yeah. Stay focused on the moment. Stay focused one round at a time. Don't count the rounds and try to get your fighter to the finish line before the time has come. You know what I mean? And then we saw Castano get dropped near the end of that fight too. And I think that is.
Almost dropped. He
almost dropped. And I think that was focus as well as stamina as well. So I think that
he almost dropped Charlo too.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about
a
lot of people are not talking about that.
Best fights of last year.
And guess what? If Charlo, I don't think he will, but if he decides to sit back and allow Castano to box the way that he boxes, he won't win again. He's got to do what he did at the end of the fight. He's got to take the fight to Castano. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to work behind the jab and line up the right hand. If Jermell Charlo sits back, he loses this fight. Jermell Charlo is not a fighter that, of course, he can catch the timing, and it's not luck, but it's kind of like you're rolling the dice with timing. And trying to roll the dice against Castano is not going to get you a convincing win, which is what he needs at this point.
Timing was the word I was going to go with. I think Charlo's going to be able to time him. I think for Charlo, or from a Castano perspective, Charlo is who Charlo is, but he's not based on timing. I think Charlo is just he's a boxer with big power. So I think
he's based on timing though.
Counterpunching to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's 100% timing.
I think maybe mine's more on the timing of the movement. I think Charlo's going to be able to get the rhythm when Castano, like you said earlier, he's going in, he's going out. I think Charlo, he's seen that now.
Yeah.
And so it's something where I think that will benefit him in a big way.
And, I mean, even being in the ring, like I always say, he reminds me of you. He's going to give you an ugly night, Castano. Can he catch the rhythm of him? And at the end of the day, Charlo, if you get him in a rumble, he going to rumble with you and say, all right, if you want to do this, let's do this.
I think my prediction, maybe I go 2 for 2 on main events. I think Charlo stops him.
I mean, I think we all feel that.
I think Charlo stops him. I have a feeling Castano.
Now you guys are just rolling with all my picks.
I have honestly,
you're the expert in the room.
Yeah. I got a feeling Castano's not tough enough. I could be wrong, and I hate to challenge.
Hater moment of the night.
I hate to challenge him, but from what I saw near the end of that fight, I think that shows up sooner.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going split decision.
Okay.
Charlo.
So
I would like to see. Castano don't have the power. I don't think he had the power to man, Charlo stoppage.
So should I, what do you guys tell?
I'll take Charlo too. You know, he's one of the most explosive and dangerous fighters in boxing. But, you know, we'll see. A lot of people felt he was fortunate to get that draw the first time, but I'll take Charlo. Yeah. He should be able to make the adjustments.
So should we close on a topic that you and I talked about and you and I briefly mentioned at Paintball? I think it's a nice 5-minute conversation. Just close us out.
All right.
So somebody retired.
Oh, no. We're not.
Oh, you don't want to talk about that?
No, we're not talking about that.
I think it's an interesting discussion.
No, because for
the fans.
No.
Okay.
Oh, shout out to Brian. Just shout out to Brian, fan who wanted the shout out real bad. So
that's what's up.
You sure? I think it's a nice little it's a quick conversation.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like we've alluded to it. Now we have to mention it. So Kell Brook retired.
It was yours.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Kell Brook retired.
I see why you want to do this shit.
Yeah. And I'm just curious of what the fans think.
All right.
So Kell Brook retires, which I think we all agreed he should have.
I might have you back on this one.
After the Amir Khan fight, we all said, hey, Kell Brook, you got the fight you finally wanted. You won it. Retire. He was kind of on the fence. He retires now officially. I don't think, and this is my hot take of the week.
Do not clip us.
Yeah.
We're your friends. We love you.
No, you
My
can punch
guy.
me. That's fine.
Okay. He just dead wrong is all.
I think Shawn in his losses, I think there were adjustments that could have been made. There were a lot of adjustments that could have been made against Kell Brook from Shawn's perspective.
Yeah. Sean Corner looked like Eddy Reynoso.
But I don't think any version of Shawn Porter can beat prime Kell Brook.
My dad.
Hold on.
Your door.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah. That's my hot take.
All right.
Feel free
I'm
in the
past
comments.
that, by the way. I'm past that.
All right. All right.
Hold on or the
All right.
Kell Brook.
You know.
I'm putting that hold on you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
All right. You know, I gave you heat on this.
On the fight? In
No, yeah. You know.
Yeah.
No, I said forever you couldn't beat him still. That Shawn Porter is not the same Shawn Porter.
Of course. I agree.
With them angles and shit, and stop using all your damn head, and
So
you got smart in the ring.
Just in case he didn't explain it correctly, he says, ever since that I fought Kell Brook, no matter, I said, everybody that I fought Keith Thurman, I fought Adrian Browner, I fought Andre Berto.
I missed that one.
I fought Andre Berto. I mean, the list goes on. Errol Spence Jr., Danny Garcia, blah, 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 blah,
James
blah.
Crawford.
I said, the way that I fought all those guys, all of those different styles, everything that I did differently, you think that there's nothing that any of those things that I could do against Kell Brook and beat him. And he stands firm in believing that Kell Brook somehow is like my kryptonite and there's nothing I can do.
Don't get me wrong.
He's the Breeders'
Don't get me wrong.
Prescott.
It'll be a long night.
Prescott to your Amir Khan.
He had you down. He had you timed, but you was just.
There are certain guys.
And his point is moving beyond that in a rematch. Beyond that in a rematch. If I had rematched him in 2018, if I rematched him in 2020,
even a year later.
even a year later.
A year later.
But to my point, even in 2020 or 2021, the Shawn Porter of now could not beat the Kell Brook of now.
Reiterate for anyone in the comments. Prime Kell Brook. This is not orbital bone broken Kell Brook.
Oh, right.
The best Kell Brook.
Right.
I don't think the best
Kell Brook that you guys can imagine against the best Shawn Porter you can imagine.
Yeah.
Who wins that fight?
Yeah,
Please let him know.
Yeah, let me know if I'm wrong.
7-5 Shawn Porter.
Think so?
7-5.
It's gonna be a tough fight. Yeah.
I'm not.
All right,
there's
but
so many great
that
fighters,
you know, they say they have a transition in their career. Shawn literally went from the head butter and everything after that fight. I don't know what you went through, but
Andre Berto would disagree.
You flipped.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Andre Berto.
Absolutely.
You flipped after that fight. You like, I got to fix some
I've
shit.
never met Andre Berto.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You'll never meet him either.
He'll clip you too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Conversation.
I don't know if you or your dad went back in the lab and y'all really had a heart to heart or whatever, and you was like, I got to change up some shit. This ain't working.
It was maturity. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I like to say about boxing.
Paulie didn't help either.
No, Paulie didn't help at all. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. I don't want to dive into this, but I'll keep it very simple. I did go through transitions after the fight with Kell Brook, and I matured after the fight with Kell Brook. Yeah. I don't think Kell matured after fighting me. I think Kell is who he was and became who he became. I think I matured.
What is our boxing expert think?
Yeah, let's hear this. Why we leave him out of this? Hey, I should just let you go.
Every once in a while I heard like a static in my ear. Oh, as I told you, go ahead.
No, I would have just loved to have seen what he could have done if he never would have took that Golovkin fight, which got him paid handsomely. But yeah, he never was the same, like you mentioned with the orbital bone. But Shawn, just to ask about Kell for a minute, I mean, to put it simply, like, how good was he at his? Because you're the only guy who in a championship fight that really got to fight him at his weight in his prime.
It's very hard to say how good he was because I can remember like my state of mind in that moment. I didn't feel much. I didn't think much, and I didn't react. It was like there wasn't much coming out of my body beyond
I gotta
do what you did to Paulie.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen again. You just gotta touch him. You know what I mean? So it's really hard for me to say how good he was because I was so kind of, for the sake of words, out of my mind. I can tell you how good Errol Spence is and Terrence Crawford. And,
you were locked in.
Yeah, it was locked
moment.
in. It was the focus was way different. You know,
Sound like you're almost fighting off adrenaline.
I was fighting off of adrenaline. Yeah.
Hey, I want to. Do you think we can ever get Paulie on here and ask what happened that night against Porter?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this guy right here.
Oh, what the hell? What the hell was that? That was not me. That was not me, fans. No, that was not me.
That was audio from the fourth round or whenever Shawn stopped him, I think.
Oh, was it? Oh, I was like, damn. Hey, we can't laugh that hard.
This is the
That's
Porter way.
disrespectful.
Y'all have a great
That's
day.
disrespectful. Hey, shout out to Paulie.
What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ed. Follow me on IG, Ed with 2 T's.
This is the Porter Way Podcast. This is Anthony Brenagh, and this is Carson Merk. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Porter Way
Already.
Podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're going to do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brenagh.
Carson A.